Hello everyone, I'm Ma'am Tonette Magtanong, your Music and Arts Mamshi. Join me as we embark on this colorful and euphonic journey of Music and Arts 7. After listening to musical characteristics of representative music selections from the lowlands of Luzon, I am sure that you can now identify these characteristics. Before exploring the music of lowlands of Luzon, let's have a quick review. For our first activity, write the missing letters and say the complete word based on the descriptions that I will give you. Let's start. Number 1. It is a regular repeated pattern of sounds and serves as a pulse of the musical composition. This element has 3 components: the beat, tempo, and meter. If your answer is rhythm, you are correct. Number 2. It is the speed of the beat. Every piece of music has its own speed, which depends on the mood of the whole music piece. Most happy tunes are fast, while sad music is relatively slow. If your answer is tempo, you are correct. Number 3. It is composed of a time signature, which is a combination of strong beats or accents and weak beats. If your answer is meter, you are correct. Number 4. It refers to the chords produced, the accompaniment styles, and the counter melodies. If your answer is harmony, you are correct. And finally, number 5. It is the thickness of the sound. If your answer is texture, you are correct. Did you get a perfect score? That's great! Do you remember what these words are? These words are the elements of music. Beside me is a digital music player. Listen as it shuffles the songs. List down the title of each song you know with the dialects used.
Magtanim ay di biro, maghapong nakayuko, di naman makatayo, di naman makaupo. Braso ko'y namamanhid, baywang ko'y nangangawit, binti ko'y namimintig sa pagkababad sa tubig. Pamulinawin, pusukin dinggaman, tuy masasug, agrayot na sa diyam, panunutin man, ingka pagitutulngan, tuy agayat, agukoy dita sa diyam. Ati ko pong sing-sing, metong yang timpukan, ama na iti, king indung ibatan, sangkang king sinido, king metong akaban, may walaya iti, ego kamalayan.
Alright! Are you familiar with these songs? What do you call these kinds of music that you just listened to? You are correct! These are folk songs. Folk songs are usually sung in the dialect of the people from its place of origin, and often short and simple. A traditional or composed song is typically characterized by a stanzaic form. Here are some examples of folk songs. Magtanim ay di biro of the Tagalogs, Pamulinawin of the Ilocanos, Atin kupong singsing of the Kapampangans, Sarumbanggi of the Bicolanos. Let's listen to one of the songs I gave as an example. If you're familiar with the song, you can actually sing with it. This song is Atin Ko Pong Sing Sing.
Ati ko pong sing-sing, netong yang timpukan, ama na iti, kingendong ibatan, sangkang king sinido, king metong akaban, may walaya iti, ego kamalayan.
Did you enjoy singing this Kapampangan folk song? That's great! Now, let us discuss the characteristics of folk songs. One of the characteristics of a folk song is that its lyrics must use the native tongue. This means that a folk song emphasizes its own identity as a community. For example, the folk song Pamulina Win from Ilocos used the community's own language for the people to easily understand and appreciate the song.
Pamulinawin, husukin dinggaman, tuyo masasug, agrayot ta sa diyam, panunutin man, inka pagitutungan, tuy agayat, agukoy dita sa diyam.
Another characteristic of a folk song is that it can be passed down through oral tradition to family or community members. Hence, it is learned by mere memorization. During the early times, singing folk songs was a favorite community pastime. Traditions are very important, and they must be continuously handed down from generation to generation. One more characteristic of folk songs is that they have unknown composers and lyricists. Most composers of Filipino folk songs are unknown because the songs were just based on daily experiences and were passed down orally. How I wish we could know who they are and acknowledge their great works, right? Anyway, let's move on to the next characteristic. The fourth characteristic is that folk songs use a simple key signature. They usually begin and end with the same key. It only means that simplicity is one characteristic of a folk song, just like Bahay Kubo, a Tagalog folk song. Yes, as simple as that. Can you still follow? Great! Let's proceed. Another characteristic is the meter. The ancient dances and common songs are based on these meters. The composers of the folk songs adopted these rhythmic patterns in their compositions. Let me give you an example. First is dupol. The song Magtanim Ay Di Biro has a dupol meter. Dupol meter, also known as dupol time, is a musical meter characterized by a primary division of 2 beats to a bar. Next is triple. The song Sarong Banggi has a triple meter. Triple meter, also known as triple time or ternary rhythm, is a musical meter characterized by a primary division of 3 beats to a bar. Lastly is a quadruple. The song Ang Pipit has a quadruple meter. Quadruple meter, also quadruple time, is a musical meter characterized in modern practice by primary division of 4 beats to a bar. But whatever their meters are, they all surely sound good. The next characteristic of a folk song is that it is primarily based on the community's culture, tradition, and livelihood. And the last characteristic is that it must be short and simple. Spanish and other Western influences are very evident in constructing the songs, such as the meter used and the minor and major modes. There you go! Those are the characteristics of Philippine folk songs. I hope that everything about folk songs is clear to you now. Now let's go back to our digital music player. Please listen carefully and identify the title of the folk songs from the lowlands of Luzon. I am sure that you can also give at least 2 characteristics after hearing the songs. Are you ready? What is the title of this folk song?
Pamulinawin, husukin dinggaman, tuyo masasug, agrayot ta sa diyam, panunutin man, ingka pangitutulngan, tuy agayat, agukoy di ta sa diyam.
You're right! It is Pamulinawin of the Ilocanos. Now let us hear the next song. How about this song? Do you know its title?
Ati ko pong sing-sing, metong yang timpukan, ama na kaiti, kinyendong ibatan, sangkang king sinido, king metong akaban, may walaya iti, ego kamalayan.
Very good! That is Atin Ko Pong Sing-Sing of the Kapampangans. Always remember that folk songs are the songs that illustrate our daily living, and they are one way of showing the use of art in our daily lives. These are the songs that will tell the next generation the kind of life our ancestors had during their time. I bet you enjoyed our lesson in music. I am confident that you will also love the arts of Luzon. Let's go! Oh, do you know what these pictures represent? These are some of the arts and crafts that can be found in Luzon. Arts and crafts help us recognize the distinctiveness of a certain culture. They show the kind of life they lead, the resources available in a particular region, the beliefs, traditions, and the artistry and imaginative minds of the people in different places. After today's lesson, you are expected to analyze elements and principles of arts in the production of one's arts and crafts inspired by the arts of Luzon, highlands and lowlands, and identify the characteristics of arts and crafts in specific areas of Luzon. One of these is textile. Textile includes attire, fabrics, and tapestries. The term textile originated from the Latin word textilis and the French word texere, which means to weave, and the term was initially used only for woven fabrics. We also have the ornaments. In Nueva Vizcaya, they have this ornament, bakwat, a belt used by mothers after giving birth. It is made by gadang weavers of Nueva Vizcaya. It is designed with white beads as accents and patterns of rivers and mountains with beadwork on the cloth's central portion. Colors and lines are evident in this fabric. Unity and patterns are also observed in the fabric. On the other hand, in Batanes, the locals have this headdress called vakul. It is the headgear of the Ivatan women of Batanes that protects them from the heat of the sun and the rain. Vakul is made from the leaves of vuyavuy, a tree endemic to Batanes. The elements of art present are shape, volume, and texture. The principles of art used are proportion and balance. In Kalinga, tattooing is a form of art that usually covers the chest and arms. Batok is a 1,000-year tattooing tradition that uses indigenous materials. The Kalingas consider tattoos as part of their clothing and think of it as body decorations. In the Mountain Province, a close examination of the Kabayan mummies reveals that they have body tattoos similar to their textiles patterns. In their batok, lines and patterns are very evident. Yes, that is a fact. And there you go! Those are the sample fabrics, arts, and body ornamentations in Luzon. Let's have an activity. Identify the elements and principles of arts found in each item and write its characteristics as well. You may write your answers on your paper. Number 1 is bakwat. What do you think are the elements and principles of art that you can see in this fabric? How about its characteristics? Number 2. What are the elements and principles of arts present? What are the characteristics of vakul? Number 3. What elements and principles of art are present in the batok tradition of the Kalingas? What are its characteristics? Let's check your work. Number 1. For bakwat, if your answers are colors and lines, patterns, and unity for the elements and principles, you are correct. If you put white beads as accents and patterns of rivers and mountains with beadwork as its characteristics, you are correct. Number 2. For vakul, if your answer is shape, volume, and texture, proportion, and balance in the elements and principles, you are correct. And if you wrote made from the lips of Buyavoy, you are correct. Number 3. If your answer in the elements and principles of art for batok are lines and patterns, you are correct. In characteristics, if you answered clothing and decorations of the body, you did great. And that's it, my dear students. I hope you enjoyed and learned something today. Once again, this is your Arts and Music Mamshi, Ma'am Tonette Magtanong. See you again here on DepEd TV.